My name is Teacher D. My name is Davy. What is your name? Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today we're talking about classroom props and prizes and empathy for your students, both online and in the classroom. Let's get into it. Before we begin this video this week, I would like to thank two people especially for helping me with my videos. First, my husband, who has edited all of my videos and made sure that everything was good to go for me because I am technologically not savvy or unsavvy. And also my father-in-law for purchasing some lighting and investing in this. This is really a great thing and I'm excited and I'm very thankful for that. Okay, let's get into it. Empathy for your students. Empathy is compassion while you're doing something and trying to relate to them. In many ways, we won't be able to relate with everything that they go through since the human experience is so vast. And so what brought this to my attention right now is the virus in China. And as I'm teaching online, many of the students are bringing that up. They're talking about it. I had a little girl come into class with a mask on. And so, you know, being in America sometimes, and I don't want to say it's a bad thing. I'm very thankful that we don't have to face a lot of these issues in America, but we are so removed from those issues that we forget that they are very much living those things. And so to have empathy for them, whether it is a student online or it is a student in our classrooms where we work with every day, we need to make sure that we empathize. And what are some ways to empathize? And I truly believe that caring for your students on a personal level is the best way to have empathy because it comes natural. It doesn't come forced or faked. It just comes natural. I think when you're in a classroom setting and you know a student one-on-one, I have worked in youth ministries for the better part of 20 years. When I was a child, my parents would have me work in youth ministries and go on bus routes and help with the inner city kids in Chicago. And so I am thankful for that experience, but that has taught me that empathy is essential to working with students and working with children. So number one, investing on them at a personal level, just talking to them. Do they want to talk about that issue? Do they want to talk about that bad night that they had? Or maybe they didn't have breakfast that morning. Or, you know, if you're in a brick and mortar classroom, you see so many things often, so many times that you're like, I can't even imagine children go through this, and yet they're going through it. So empathize with them, being personal with them, talking with them, having a conversation about it. Some children want to talk about it and some don't, and know which ones do and don't, and be willing to spend that 2 extra minutes to talk with them. Number two, I would say be willing to do something about it if you can. Obviously, I'm not a scientist. I cannot come up with a cure for the coronavirus, but I can say, oh, I hope your family is healthy. Make sure you wash your hands. Just giving them something to do to alleviate that fear, and maybe they'll wash their hands more. Maybe they'll keep that in mind, that I'm thinking about them and that they can talk to me and that I'm someone that's going to listen. And second, if you have a student in your classroom and you're a teacher at a brick and mortar school, you know, do something about it. Are they a child that routinely doesn't have breakfast? Are they a child that routinely has issues at home? So there's something you can do. Maybe you can buy an extra package of pencils or more erasers or any of those things. And I cannot think of a person that has the ability to love and care for a child more than a teacher. It's an amazing ability we have. We get students at the beginning of the year and we immediately love those students and pour ourselves into those students, and empathy should just come naturally with the job. It is part of your job description. So let's have empathy. Let's be aware of our students' needs. It's important for their mental development and their growth in our classrooms if we want to be a good teacher. And that is empathy. Next, we will talk about classroom props and prizes. Okay, this is a funner topic, and I told my husband, I just am so sad of the coronavirus, and my children are there, and I hope all my students are okay. And I thought, well, I wanted to put that out there about the empathy and about us realizing that people have needs and people have problems, and we should not focus in on just our problems but theirs. But I also wanted to do a little bit more of a funner side of VIPKid, and that is the toys. Every morning I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and I play with my toys with the children. And so I'm going to show you a couple of things that I have, some ideas, and I really try to, all of my prizes, I try to also use as props. So as you can see, I don't have a huge area. I also share this office with my husband, who has a little music studio on the other side of this video. So I don't have a lot of room, so I really tried to overlay and use them both. A couple of things that I bought, these were $1, I think literally $1 at Walmart. They were by the checkout counter. They were in little tubes, and I had dinosaurs. I'll just take out a couple of things and show you. They have dinosaurs, and so let me see if I get this. So for their prizes, I might say we're doing dinosaurs today, and you know, if they're an older student, I might try to know the names of all of these. You know, this is a Brachiosaurus, and this is a pterodactyl, and you know, I'm limited to about 4 names, but I try to know the names so they feel a little smarter, and they're not just, you know, a 10-year-old. I want the blue one, you know. So I try to upscale them if I can. I also have wild animals, which also comes in very handy in the 4th level when you're talking about wild animals. So there's those. In that same unit, you also talk about sea animals. So this package has whales and sharks and octopus and so on. And this I can use both as prizes, so I can pick an animal when they do well, or they're great visuals. And in the same, I have farm animals, which is very important for many of the units, especially in the 3rd and 2nd level. They talk much about farm animals. So that's those, and I really like these. I just keep them in a Ziploc bag, and if I look at the unit and it says farm animals, well, I have my props right here and also my prizes. So I just pour it out and I get going. I also have, for some of the color slides, I have different cars, especially for the boys. Blue cars, yellow, green, red, and the boys are normally like, oh, I had a little boy that went, oh my. I know, my husband likes them too. So these little cars, they go well with the color visuals, and with some of the city slides. They have cars, there's those, and a lot of things I buy, I try to buy very cheaply, or I rated. My husband, when we got married, had a box of old toys that were like childhood favorites. So I was like, oh, I need all of these things for my VIPKid class. So the cars were some of those. I bought a hamburger set. And again, some of these are fairly cheap. I got most of them from Walmart, making a hamburger. And so when you're talking about food and taste, here you go. Here's a hamburger. It's a visual. They can put it together, and it's just concreting in what they're learning, but they're having fun. And so I have my visual and my prize. So I'm gonna have a huge mess on my desk with all these toys afterwards, but that's okay. I also have an American flag that I like to use for my 2nd level, and really any of these, I'm always saying America, America. And maybe the next episode we're going to be talking about American pride and Chinese pride, and how I think it's important that we develop Chinese patriotism. I don't think they call it patriotism in China, but how we promote a love for their country as much as I would promote a love for my country here with my American students. So we'll talk about ways that I like to do that to help them learn. For those of you patriots, I'm going to fold this nicely after the class. So of course, how we do that. So, and then a few other things, some out of the box thoughts. I just have some cubes. This goes well for any of the lessons that talk about cubes or dimensions. And then I'll just stack these up. I've got about 20 of these blocks in here, and I stack them up and they just go really high, and the way the camera's angled, it always looks like they're up to the ceiling, you know. And then I have the child blow at the end of the class. I say blow, and then we'll blow down the blocks together, and they love it. I also have, I think I said in another episode, I have these like little grocery basket. It has vegetables and fruit and crackers, and so I can use these for visual aids or prizes. Of course, I have a Mr. Potato Head. I take off all of his parts. Mr. Potato Head is great when you're in the 3rd level and you're teaching about the face, because I mean, how much better is it to promote the learning with the playing? And so that's phenomenal there. And then I have Monkeys in a Barrel. Again, this is pretty much a pure, I can use this for trial classes. They're pretty easy. I can use it for a lower level student. They understand it. You just add monkeys and then you count them at the end. So that's not too difficult. I also have flashcards that I can use. If you get, these are little Rosetta Stones you could probably find at the, not Rosetta Stone, I'm sorry, Rose Art, and you can find them at the dollar store, but they have got like square, and so then they'll pick a shape, square, triangle, rectangle, and they'll have pictures on the other side. So they'll pick a shape as their prize, and I'll show them the picture, and that's just fun, and we'll try to find the shape in there, and it's all reinforcing what they're learning. I do it with colors. I have yellow and blue, and I also have black and brown and all the other colors. So I do that. So if you can think creatively, and sometimes I just go into the Walmart or I'll go into the dollar store and I'll just look for ideas, look for things, and then they often can double as props. So if you have some more props that I didn't mention, I'm sure you do. I would love to hear what kind of props you use. I'm always looking for something new for my classroom. So if you've got an idea, you think of another way I could use what I already have, please let me know. Again, when you have a small classroom, some teachers have great big setups, and that's fabulous. You go get them, girl or man, whichever you are. But for me, I have a smaller space, and so these are just some ideas of some things that I like to use that double over as the prop or the visual aid. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed today's episode on empathy and tips and tricks for your props and your visual aids. Share, like, and subscribe. Share this with your friends. We are taking the channel in a little bit of a different direction. We want to share with all teachers and give experience to all teachers. So like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and don't forget to enjoy the journey.